To the extent that the administration feels that there are unfair trade advantages that other countries impose that allow to defend their domestic industry, you can argue that, well, then you have the right to do it yourself. As a reserve currency, some people will say the reserve currency doesn't make it worse for you, but it typically does because your currency typically is more expensive than it should be for countries that are not the reserve currency. So there are arguments to defend tariffs. There seem to be, at least from other news stories out there, three particular different alternatives that are being talked about, one of which is the 20% across the board. Others are more targeted, others are more specific, others are country by country rather than by product. So it remains to be seen. There's been a lot talked about and a lot discussed, but very little has been made apparent. And until we see that, it's hard to make a judgment about it. I think for the markets, the big issue here really is the uncertainty. I think markets would like to get it over and done with. Tell me what it is, let us adjust, and let us get on with it. It's this back and forth, what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, the fear of what they're going to do, oh, we're going to do this, and then we're going to delay the announcement. And it's this uncertainty issue that's really bothering the markets more than I think the tariffs themselves. To the extent that the cost of foreign products goes up, that could be a benefit to domestic producers of particular goods. It could bring about increased manufacturing. It may not. We don't know the impact. We do know that when they tariffed China, everyone thought the world was going to fall apart, and it didn't. So again, the reason for now doing this is also because doing it on a broader basis is because China found ways to circumvent normal channels and lose some of its profitability out of the trade, but continued to be able to export product through other countries at lower and lower prices. Consumer's not going to pay it all. The manufacturer's going to pay some of it. The currency is going to eat some of it. Look, for a lot of these companies, it's a loss minimization process. Okay, if I'm a producer of a good, and I either I'm very very much need the U.S. marketplace, then I run a risk. Do I shut down and go out of business, or do I take a loss for a while and see if I can adjust and lower my costs and become competitive again? It's a decision everyone's going to have to make individually. You saw reports earlier today of a particular German automobile manufacturer saying maybe it doesn't bring its lowest priced products into the U.S. anymore because they can't compete. Well, maybe that's the case, but I'm sure that'll open up opportunities for other manufacturers who can compete.